Alright, now following up with the Asagi review, we're taking a look at this Hentai Action, second act, Sakura Igawa figure from Taimanin 3. And for the most part, this figure, proportions and articulation wise, is pretty much the same as Asagi, considering, you know, that they're sisters and they have identical body proportions. But what really sets her apart is the finish and everything on her figure and the accessories that she comes with. So let's get started. Okay, so Sakura stands at about, yeah, I'd say around almost 6 something, about like 5 something inches, which makes her about 14 something centimeters. And for comparison's sake, here is Asagi. Oh, fuck. And for comparison's sake, here's Asagi next to her sister Sakura. And as you can see clearly, even with the metallic finish on Asagi, it looks similar enough, and the fit and finish and everything is more or less the same. Especially in Taimanin Asagi 3, where Sakura and Asagi essentially have almost the exact same outfit. It's just that the clothing is a bit different. Like you can see here, Asagi's outfit is just all like one opaque color, so it's just covering like all of the skin. Whereas you can see here, the reason Sakura has 2 different tones of like black and gray is because this is completely covering the skin, and then this is more like a see-through, like pantyhose kind of thing. So you're supposed to be able to see part of the skin, but they do both have the fishnet pattern on the arms and on other parts like on the legs. Well, I'm going to get into that more when I talk about the aesthetic, but I just really wanted to show you a comparison between the 2 of them. And they're also around the same height, and you can tell that the front of their hair is similar too. So aesthetically, I think they actually got Sakura's proportions and everything right. Again, like her and Asagi have around the same body proportions, so for the most part this is like a reused body. But what I think they did a really good job with is differentiating them with the different finish and everything on the clothing. Yes, as you can see, there's just like a shiny, like sort of see-through-ish pattern here on the pantyhose kind of pattern, and then you can see the shiny see-through fishnet, and then here it's also a bit shiny, but more matte. But you know, this is also skin tight, but it's more like black latex if anything. Alright, so now starting from head to toe, Sakura's hair is interesting because the shape and everything is completely accurate, and her face also, and her face as well, but to me the hair color doesn't look right because she's supposed to, I'm gonna post a picture of it, but she has like this dark, like kind of platinum blondish, kind of like yellowish orange, whereas here it's very hard to see in the lighting. But in real life it's like a yellowish, like not cheese-like color, but it's like a cheddar sort of color where it starts yellow here and then it fades into orange, which does look kind of cool, but I don't know if it's accurate. It's like too bright. It's supposed to be a darker color. And then in the camera, obviously, it doesn't really pick up on that. The camera just makes it look really bright for some reason. It's like almost neon color. And then the skin tone is pretty well done too. She's a bit more pink compared to Asagi, which I guess makes sense because their skin tones are slightly different. Asagi's a bit more like fair-skinned, and she's a bit more like pinkish. So I think they got that right. They also got the little earrings that she has on her right here. And of course they got like the eye shape and everything correctly. And the mouth looks pretty okay on the neutral face. The black latex looks good. Unlike the metallic Asagi, the neck peg here actually matches the latex on the upper body. So they got that right. And of course there's the fishnet pattern on the arms, and then the armor, which is identical to Asagi. It's mostly a repaint, but with some slight changes, like here not having the fishnet pattern like Asagi does. So it's kind of, so I'd say it's probably interchangeable. You could probably swap these hands out. It's just that, see, like this is all black, whereas with Asagi it's like purple and then a silver armor thing here, but you know. And yeah, the line work and paint and everything on here is really solid. You can see like there's just a seam line here, but it's not that noticeable. So everything's separated perfectly fine. Even though mine's used, like there's a little smudge right there, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. I still wish they could have made this a bit less. Like, instead of it being all black, it would just go from black to like matching the pattern. But I guess they can't always do it like these joints. Still, so far, everything's fine. And it can stand up by itself. Alright, so articulation. Articulation is pretty much the same as Asagi. So you have a hinge neck, kind of like a Marvel Legends sort of hinge, but actually better. So the hinge neck, the head is on a ball peg sort of thing, so it kind of swivels like this. Kind of give it. It has the Figma problem, where you get like this really crazy fucking head tilt that looks like the head is broken, but you can probably make it look real believable, like something like this sort of. Maybe a little bit more like that. It's a bit weird, but I think you can make it work. And of course, there's a shoulder butterfly joint here. Shoulders go all the way up like this. I think you can make it go slightly higher. No, it's about 90. Yeah, about 90 or so. And then here, I think it has the same problem as the Asagi, where if you make it go up a certain way, it goes back down, but it's not doing it right now. Yeah, so you can get about T-pose. And then it's technically a single jointed elbow, but get really good bend out of it, I think. Enough to go in the shoulder and combine with the shoulders and the bicep swivel that is right here in between. You have enough to go do something like this. You completely touch the shoulder, which I think is really cool, because a lot of figures, even like Bandai, they can't get characters to move all the way like that. Especially for like Dragon Ball characters. Like, why can't they do crazy poses like that? Yeah, so you can do something like this. Or something like this. This is fine too. And of course, these are huge and kind of get in the way, but let's not worry about that for now. Then of course, you get the Figma style like hinge with a little peg on the swivel here. You can make it go horizontal, or you can make it go vertically. And if you, that's kind of a small problem, but don't worry about it. Where the hell did that hand go? Alright, well the hand falling off gave me an opportunity to show you the horizontal hinge. So there you go. You can do that too. And I guess you can, yeah, it pops off easily on this one for some reason. I don't know if it's because mine is used, or it just pops off a lot. Not sure what's going on. But yeah, you can do something like this if you so desire. Something like this if you want. Alright. Why is that hand coming off constantly? Alright, time for the upper body. Upper body, of course, has the articulated boobages. So you can tilt it like this. To the side. You can make them spread out and look silly like that, even though I don't think it would work in a skin tight outfit. You can have them go a bit inward, so it's a bit more believable, I guess, even though it's skin tight. They can go up like this, although I guess on Sakura it's a bit harder to hide the joint, like the very obvious looking joint here, because it doesn't match the color of the latex. So there's that. So you can kind of make it go like this if you want. Kind of have it look like it's bouncing or something. Alright, and then for the upper body, the torso is on a big hinge ball peg thing. So it can lean back like all the way like this. This is crazy. Look at this. Look at this shit. Then it goes back, tilt to the side. That's really good side to side. Again, all of this is around pretty much the same as the Asagi. Look at that. And then it leans forward about that much, which I think is pretty good given the proportions. And then the torso, the abdomen area kind of enhances it a little bit. You see, it's tilted a little bit. And then combined with both of them, you get a bit more like this. You get something like this, which I think looks pretty good. And then the forward with both is like this. I think this is pretty crazy. Like, look how good this looks. And then the back is even more insane, which I think I showed with Asagi last time. Like, look at this. I'm about to break her back like this. She could lay down, I guess, on her back, on her stomach. Well, she got two fucking flotation devices right there. She'll be fine. Yeah, so there's that. Alright, so the lower body. This is just all one molded thing. There's a little peg here on the back that you can take off, which are for her accessories, so we'll get to that later. Okay, so I didn't talk about this with Asagi because I didn't know how the legs work, but the legs are basically on a curved double ball peg. So there's a ball peg here, I think, and then one that connects to the leg, and it curves like this. Kind of hard to see, but it goes like this. And what you can do is that you can have the legs go up like this, which, you know, it's really good. You could go up around 90 degrees, or around 90 or so. But you can also make it go all the way out to the side. But you can also like make it go higher up and get like a really good high kick. So it's really dynamic. Like, it's kind of crazy that they can do all that. Like, it's a really interesting leg system. It's different from like the typical one that you see. So I had a problem with this Asagi. Not Asagi. Sorry. I had a problem with this Sakura where this leg kept popping off for some reason. And I don't know what's going on with the connection here on these joints. I don't know if whoever put this figure together, I think either put the joints in the wrong way to troll me or something. But something's a bit off about it. But it works fine. It's just, it doesn't feel as smooth as the way Asagi did. And it's a used figure, so it's hard to get these like brand new. Especially with so many bootlegs and overpriced scalpers doing that stuff, but you know. So it has like the Marvel Legends sort of like cut off here at the leg, which I do think it works better for these figures because it kind of hides it with the armor. You can still do a leg tilt. Oh, hold on, I'm not doing this right. So you can still kind of go like that and hide it, and then you just gently kind of hold the top part and then twist it back. Yeah, so you did do that. And then there's a double jointed knee here. So you have to bend that first part, and then you get this. So it doesn't go all the way up, especially because the sculpted butt cheek gets in the way, but it does go all the way like that, which I think is really good. And they could have done a little bit more if they had just cut this part right here to give it a bit more bend, but they chose to keep the sculpt instead of sacrificing all just like thigh, which is fine. And then of course they have a little toe hinge, leg hinge, foot hinge there. I can't speak today. And this is okay. doesn't really go side to side, so it kind of just tilts on the ball peg here. Which, it's fine, it's fine. Yeah, you know, and it kind of goes... you know, and it goes like this. So it can tilt all the way back. Kind of far forward, not completely. And then it has a toe hinge, which on these I think is kind of useless. Like, you probably can use it for something, but the feet are already at a really high angle, so I'm not really sure what you'll use it for. Same thing on this one. This one was a little stuck, but I got it. Alright, so that's about all of Sakura's articulation. Again, same as Asagi, so just be careful with this leg popping off if you have that problem, because I have it. So the one on mine pops off a lot for some unknown reason. Alright, and now we can talk about the accessories, which hopefully isn't age restricted. If not, I'll just make that as a separate part, which I might do for Asagi. If you're watching this in the future, after I'm done with all this, you'll see whether or not it's a two-part video. Alright, so Sakura comes with a bunch of these accessories, 3 of which I can't show on screen at the moment, but you essentially get this kind of smug looking off to the side sort of face. You get the Ahegao's tongue sticking out face, and then you get the legit orgasming face. And then you get this little piece of cardboard that I'll let you figure out what that says. And then you get 2 peace sign hands, 2 gripping hands, and then 2 kind of like claw grabby hands. And then you also get the 2 sword sheaths without the handles, without the swords like in them. And then you get one that does. And then you get the 2 individual swords. So unlike Asagi, like, you don't have to peg in the swords. You just have different swappable versions of them. Okay, so to peg on the swords, you have to take this little tab off. And then, it's a little dark, isn't it? And then you see this little peg hole here? You take it right here in between the hip area. And then bam, there you go. Pretty simple, isn't it? Yeah, so you can have the daggers like this, essentially. You can kind of create any sort of dynamic action pose that you want. And then, yeah, so swapping out the hands is pretty easy. You just take them off like this. You can see here there's a peg on the joint. I'm not going to zoom in right now. And then you just put it back on. Pretty simple. Make sure you push it all the way in so that the ball joint is a lot smaller looking, because that's how you know it'll actually be all the way in. If not, it'll make the hands come off easily. Yeah, then swapping the face, it's fairly easy. You just do this, and the face fell off. So you just do this, put it back on, put this one on, and then line up the hair like that, and there you go. Now you see that looks a bit better now. Yeah, now it looks more like Sakura. I don't know, Sakura's more cheerful expression always looked good, but I see especially with this more smug looking face, I see she looks great. Yeah, you can see it right here. I think she looks pretty damn good. Oh yeah, and then the last accessory I'm going to talk about before I get to the adult only section of the video is that you get this cool figure stand, which has 4 different points. Articulation. Yeah, I know the lighting here is terrible. Yeah, so it goes like this. goes front and back equally, so you don't have to worry about it being uneven. And it goes like that. You can really lower it if you need to. And then something more like this. So again, like really dynamic. And then the top hinge also does the same thing. So kind of do whatever you want. My only gripe with these is that one, they're really shiny. So they get fingerprints all over and are prone to being scratched. And personally, I just think it's too big. Like, I wish it was more Figma sized or figure art, where one, it's square shaped, and then two, it's like about this size, like about half or something. Like, this is too big. If you can peg it onto a different figure stand, that'd be great, because I don't have to worry about how oversized this thing is. But it's the same as like the McFarlane's, isn't it? I don't know. Yeah, so that's all of that. So overall, though, I think the Sakura Second Acts Hentai action figure from Taimanin 3 is totally worth it. I'd say yes. Yeah, like body-wise and everything, it's just a redo of it's just a redo, a repaint or whatever of Asagi. Yeah, just get this out of the way. You know, it's, in a lot of ways, it's literally just Asagi's like body type and everything, just reused. I don't mind it because this was good base to start off with anyway. So I'd say both of them are really top-notch figures, and if you can find them and get them officially and not the bootleg, I'd say they're totally worth tracking down. Just be careful with certain joints and, you know, things like that. Hopefully by the time I'm done with this, you can actually see the, if you're watching the like R-rated version of the video, you can see the other accessories from the option parts, because during the filming for this I forgot to bring the parts with me. Because I was so confident, I was like, okay, I'm about to start talking about the extra accessories, I didn't bring them. Whoops. Anyway, yeah, I think Articulation, I give like a 9, that's what I gave Asagi. Sculpt and everything, you know, great. The Articulation, pretty much the same as Asagi. You don't have to worry about the longer hair getting in the way. So 9, everything like is really good. Ab crunch is great. Butt flaps, the articulated butt cheek, I still hate it. But the giant diaper piece, not the biggest fan, but I'll get over it. Still a 9. Like, everything's really good, and these two can stand up on their own. Okay, so I was messing around with the Sakura figure when I got towards the end of editing this video, this review, and I noticed a couple of issues. One, the right leg on your left of the screen is fucking loose, and it keeps flopping for some reason. I don't know what's going on, and even though it's in the socket, like the ball peg socket is, you know, connected to the leg and everything, I don't know what's going on. That shit keeps flopping, and then occasionally like the leg will just pop off. And I'm just like, okay, why is that a problem? Why is this happening? The left leg has absolutely no problem. Other than that, like, that's like the only problem I have articulation wise. And the left arm having like some weird flop to it, like a cap or something, like when it tries to T-pose it. So I don't know. And then the other thing is that due to the joints and me having to like move the legs a lot, I don't know what's going on, but the paint on the upper thigh, like near the butt area or diaper piece, it just kind of like scratches the paint. So be careful with that. So I still think the figure personally is a 9 out of 10, but these QC issues are really annoying, especially like the floppy leg, because it makes it hard to pose. I'll post a picture of one of these poses I had a hard time doing. It took me like over an hour, and yeah, it was mostly just because the legs couldn't sit still. But I finally got it, so... Also, I forgot to mention that it comes with the manual, and it shows like the articulation and everything on how to move the figure. And it also comes with an art card of the character, which Asagi didn't seem to come with. I guess that's not what came with mine, but Sakura and Yukikaze both came with an art card of the character, so for the sake of comparison, I'll post a picture here so you can see the two of them side by side, so you can judge whether or not how accurate they got the character. Sakura is totally worth it. Again, if you can get her for the right price, somewhere around like less than 120 or something, by herself. But then you also have to buy the accessory pack, and the accessory pack can cost like $30 or more. I think like 40 or something maybe. So I'd say try and get her under like 170 for the whole package, and it's totally worth it. So yeah, I'd say totally get Sakura if you're able to. Hopefully I can do more videos. We'll try and look at Yukikaze next. Yeah, I think the Asagi Asagi. I think the Sakura figure is great and totally worth it if you can get the figure legit, or hope for a reissue, or just avoid the bootlegs. Try to get it at like around 100 something, less than 100 maybe, but anything lower than that might be a fake. And make sure you verify if it's a fake. And also you have to get the accessory pack. I highly suggest you get the option parts set. Alright, well that's it. And if you haven't seen the not safe for work / R-rated part of the video with the optional parts, I highly recommend you watch it. It'll be here at the end of the video. Alright, bye.